All right, all right, all right. We are live. Hopefully, we don't have any audio issues like we did last week, where I think it was just a matter of being muted or something for the first 2 or 3 minutes. So apologies for last week. If you can hear me, please let me know. Lots of interesting stuff to talk about today. The market, interest rates, where rates are headed, where the market and real estate prices are headed, what to expect as we enter probably the most unpredictable spring housing market we've seen in a long time. I guess I would venture to say that 2020 was rather unpredictable as well, but nonetheless, plenty of interesting stuff to talk about. A few things that I'm currently keeping top of mind, and one I'll just share here. It's a video I'm sending out to probably 500 or 600 agent partners tomorrow. You guys will get a sneak peek into that today. There are thousands, at least tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of quote unquote invalid pre-approvals floating around right now. Meaning that somebody who got pre-approved in December, January, even February, who hasn't checked in with their lender, who hasn't reevaluated price, rate, their scenario, is going to be in for some either sticker shock, or even worse than sticker shock is just flat out you no longer are approved for what you thought you were. And I'll give some examples just so you know. A lot of times people get themselves pre-approved. And I know this for fact because we're a mortgage broker who deals with hundreds of people every single month. Once you get the pre-approval done, they're only coming to us because they need the loan to get the house. The real estate, the shopping for real estate, that's the important part. Give us the letter, let us know we're pre-approved, and get the heck out of our way. We provide a bunch of education. We provide them scenarios. Here's what it looks like at 500,000. Here's what it looks like at 550 and all that stuff. But more often than not, even proactively reaching out to clients saying, how can we help? What questions can we answer? What can we show you? Want to make sure that people are educated, empowered, feeling confident about offers they're going to be making. People just get the letter and they're off and running, right? So here's the issue that's going to come up. I promise you, it's not a guess and it's not my hypothesis. It's just not me making a prediction, right? You got pre-approved in February and the rate was what it was, right? Let's call it 3.5. Rates have moved. Prices have moved. You're out there shopping for a home. If you haven't connected with your loan officer to say, hey, I just want to kind of run some new scenarios. I was looking in the 500 range. I'm probably going to be offering somewhere in the 550 range. Not only do you need to know, do you qualify for that? But a lot of people need to know, if you do qualify, is it something that you're willing to do? Some people are able to take on a bigger mortgage payment, but they're not willing. Meaning you looked at something in January and at 3% and at this purchase price, your payment was $2,100 a month. You might qualify for a mortgage payment of $2,500 a month, but you're not willing to do that, right? So I guess this is my message to realtors and their clients and our mutual clients in the blast that I'm sending out tomorrow. Make sure that clients, for your sake, for our sake, for the client's sake, are revisiting those pre-approvals. We saw another pretty gnarly day. We had Jerome Powell out there saying there's nothing that's going to stop him from increasing the Fed funds rate in May, 50 basis points. Mortgage-backed securities went a little bananas. I'm looking right now at my screen, 83 basis points down on the day. On most lenders' rate sheets, it's an 1/8 to 1/4 in rate. I saw some of the retail lenders in the market with primary purchase 30-year fixed nearing 5%. As a broker, we're going to have pretty sharp pricing, but even us, we're mid-4s, right? Unless you're paying a lot of points, Your rate's probably in the 4.5, 4.625 range, even for folks with great credit. So that's the moral of today. Another little caveat to making sure that you're, aware of what your specific scenario looks like. Not only are you pre-approved and able to buy, but are you willing, based on a new payment, new price, new rate, all that stuff. Another thing to think about, if you're a self-employed borrower, if you filed 2021 taxes and we pre-approved you in January based on 19 and 20, now we got to look at 20 and 21. If something happened in 21 that changes how much you qualify for, make sure that you revisit that as a self-employed borrower, right? Because that can blow the whole thing up real quick. All right. Thanks for listening to the little rant of the day. I've got some other stuff on, why some of the media statistics are overblown. I'll get into that later once I answer a few questions from the people. Good to see you here, Alex. Thanks for getting all that stuff uploaded. As you hopefully have already been told, our standard, our service level agreement, as far as getting all your docs into us within 24 to 48 hours, we're going to have your pre-approval complete. We're going to send over scenarios, show you what exactly you qualify for, what it looks like at different purchase prices. If it's all in today and all the docs are in, you'll hear from us Wednesday at the latest. My guess is you'll hear from us tomorrow. I literally touched base with the team today and said, how are we doing on the SLAs? They said, we're crushing it. Even with more and more folks getting pre-approved, we're still getting back to most within 24 hours. So stay tuned, my man, and ask away with your questions. Because like I said, questions that you have as somebody who's getting pre-approved, new to the market, purchasing a home, ideally in the next month, 2 months, 3 months, you've got questions that other people have. So ask away. I'll answer, as honestly, as truthfully as possible. And not only do you get those questions answered, but anybody who's listening, who's in the same scenario as you, is also going to glean some value from that. Joey Garassi, what's up, my man? Good to see you in there. I appreciate your support. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep sending me that stuff you're finding out there with what different companies are doing. Because like I told you in our private conversation earlier, UMortgage partnered with FinLocker, partnered with TransUnion. We've got financial literacy coming up March 28th. All of next week, literally 7 days in a row of free financial education. I'll make sure to put that link in the description. Do I have it here? Come on, Matt. I think that's it. Financial literacy, like literally probably 25 or 30 different sessions. I'm going to be doing one on refinance. My buddy Jimmy in Utah is going to be doing one on investment properties. I think my buddy Kyle is taking buyers or move up buyers. Other folks are going to be talking about Bitcoin and NFTs and all things financial literacy, investing, and it's free. And I think it's needed, right? So if you've got kids, if you've got cousins, if you've got coworkers, if you've got anybody in your sphere who could benefit from financial literacy, this is literally AKA everybody. Invite them. It's going to be the first one we do. Hopefully it's a tradition we keep up year after year after year. Everybody needs more financial literacy. When my 9-year-old told me about some stuff that they've got going on in school, I was pleasantly surprised, because we all know that the educational system doesn't necessarily do a lot in terms of financial literacy. But he was learning about some businesses, and there were some case studies and examples of what businesses have going on. It was good to hear. Ryan L. Is that a goat? Yep, it is. It's either Matt the donkey or Matt the goat. Whatever the case, I appreciate you being here. All right, Joey, you asked, I'll answer. Let me see if I can put this up. I'll show you. If you haven't heard of Barry Habib, he's the man. And, follow his stuff. He's got an update every morning. Share screen. 83 basis points, which is about a quarter, Joey. As he was talking, we were down 30 basis points, then 40. Then we went to what you're seeing right here, which is about 83. Is that up? There it is. 83 basis points down on the day. Look at that. This alert to lock happened probably 11 a.m. or something. But here's the last couple of weeks have not been good to mortgage rates. If you see this downward trend, down is bad for mortgage bonds. Down means rates are going up. And, really, this is all year, this downward trend, right? And people say rates have been steadily increasing all year. They ain't lying. And that last 2 weeks is more of the same. It's been a slow and steady journey to where we're at today. I bet, let me look at Mortgage News Daily for just the average 30-year rate. Because they have the national average, which is going to be pretty close. If you've got great credit and you're working with a mortgage broker, you'll probably be a little bit better. But this is close enough for government work. Let's see what they're talking. Holy, look at that. Look at that spike today. Look at that. Oh, Lord Jesus. 4.66. Oh, my gosh. I mean, I done told you. Look at that. If you start here on August 3rd, 278, we are almost at a full 2% increase. I got to go back to that video. I did a video where I looked at 3%, 4%, and 5%. Just the difference in payment, purchase power, and the like. Nobody thought it was going to be this quick, right? From that spot in August, there was not a single mortgage person. I'll be the first to admit. I would have never told you that rates would go up this high this fast. I might have said by the end of 23, we'd be at 4.5, but not by the end of Q1 22. Anyhow, enough about this rate FUD. Still great interest rates, right? 4.5 is still a great rate. That's what we got to always remember. We got to put it into perspective. This is a great question too, Matt. I'd love to answer this one too, because if the Fed follows through with 4 more rate hikes this year, where do you think mortgage rates are likely to be? Jerome Powell today, the reason why his comments were market moving, in my opinion, is because of his change in stance on how aggressive he's going to be, how quick he's going to move with monetary policy. We all know that 4 to 6 interest rate hikes are on the horizon. And I think the market, for the most part, has priced some of that stuff in. So if Jerome Powell follows through with everything that he's kind of talked about doing, I think we settle between 4.75 and 5% by the end of the year. I don't think that this rapid increase we've seen continues. I think it's very unlikely we get to 6% by the end of the year. I also thought it was unlikely we go from 3 to 4.5 as quick as we did. But I think that most of the stuff that we're going to see is stuff that they've already talked about. Hence, the market's already priced it in. Yeah, Caesar went from 3 to 3.25, and you're right. It was a big, dang it. The problem with it was there were so many head fakes between 2019 and 2022, where it was up, back down, up, back down. The people didn't believe it. I'm telling you, there were so many people I was talking to that were like, now wait till it goes down. When it was 3.25, I'm like, listen, this might be the last window for you. And I never professed to know exactly what's going to happen, but I told people listen, you're in a 4.25. We've got 3.25. I suggest you lock it, refinance stuff, right? No, I'll wait. And then a lot of people basically waited until there was no benefit left, right? And now there's just so much less people who are quote unquote in the money, quote unquote net benefit to refinance on the rate and term side, right? There's still plenty of cash out refinance stuff that makes sense. But not a lot of rate and term where somebody's sitting in a 5% and they can benefit from refinancing. That stuff's evaporated. Alex Rodini, don't let all my fear talk about rates discourage you, brother. All the reasons you want to buy a home, get into a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, have a payment that doesn't change, doesn't go up like rent does, the debt pay down where you're paying down the principal and what you owe, the appreciation over time. You know, you're going to buy something for 700 that even in a market that's not as fast appreciating as the one we're in, even in a slowly appreciating market, you buy something for 700, you're going to blink. In 10 years, you're going to have 2 kids and that house is going to be worth 1.1 million. You're going to be glad you bought in 2022 versus waiting till 2025. So I wouldn't sweat it that you might be in a 4.6 instead of, a 3.99 if you bought last month, or, if you bought in August, you could have been sub 3%. Still, all the benefits of homeownership apply. So don't let the rate stuff scare you. It's just interesting to talk about. And everybody wants to know from the mortgage guy, what are rates? What are they doing? What can we expect? All right, Miss Taylor. Thanks for being brave. Selling and buying. Selling and buying is a lot tougher this year. And it's part of the problem. It's part of the problem that, folks aren't selling because they don't have anything to buy. They know how competitive it is to buy something. And so a lot of people stay in put for that reason, because it's a tougher market. But we should see some more spring inventory come. I think the second week of April is like the busiest week of new listings coming on. So we're about to see some more listings. All right, Ryan. I feel you, brother. 8% inflation. It's tough to have cash sitting in the bank and not do anything, but it depends on your time horizon, right? Are you a year away from buying a house? Are you 6 months away? Unless it's like a really far out goal, which I don't expect it to be, and I wouldn't advise it, right? Because you buy 5 years from now, you might be paying 7.5% interest and prices might be 50% higher than they are now. Don't worry about having money in the bank for 6 months or a year, right? I know plenty of smart people. I know plenty of rich people who have sat on cash and not got too overly concerned about, hey, this 100,000 in the bank has lost 8% of purchase power. If I would have had it over there, I could have done this. Because I'll tell you something, on the flip side, you get desperate. You're like, I've got to see yield. I've got to see some type of return on investment on this money. You go put 50,000 into something that takes a 40% hit. Stocks have taken a beating. Cryptos have taken a beating. Plenty of stuff has taken a beating. Then all of a sudden that 50's 30. That ain't good either, brother. So if the 50 turns into 46 because of inflation, then, so be it. But the key is, I think for a lot of folks, the sooner you buy, the sooner you're hedged against inflation. Owning an appreciating asset, which, the naysayers for real estate are like, it only is going to keep up with inflation, like real estate. If you look at the appreciation over time versus inflation, it just barely breaks even. Well, great. Over the last 10 years, that's a 40% increase or whatever the heck the number is. Right. So anyhow, I don't think I would be overly concerned about it. As a homeowner and a real estate investor, my wife and I have some cash on the sidelines that's hopefully going to be put to use, but it's just waiting on the right deal, right? And for you as a home buyer, maybe it's the right type of market where you only got to compete against 3 or 4 offers, which I think is coming sooner than later, and more inventory coming on the market. Having your 3%, 5% down plus whatever reserves you need, you'll be all right. we don't want to talk bad about Jay Pow Pow, but the dude definitely, he's got a pretty nice bark. You know, his bite, like we just saw, he did a little 25 basis point bite at that meeting last week. And then, he comes out today and he's barking a big bark, 50 basis points. This is the question they asked him. What would stop you from increasing the Fed funds rate by 50 basis points in May? Said nothing. And I mean, it literally got applause and laugh from the crowd. And this isn't like a comedy club that he's speaking to, right? These are some suits, right? And even they were laughing at that response, right? Where he's like, nothing would stop me. And so in all seriousness, he said, they're monitoring the situation. They're going to see how things go. And, if needed, they're willing and able if that's what is called for. All right, Elon Musk, thanks for joining. Thanks for taking a break from Boring Company, Tesla, all the other stuff you got going on. Appreciate having you here, stopping by. How will first-time homeowners get a home when prices have almost doubled in Phoenix and rates are going up? Well, I mean, qualifying is just the same. This is a great segue. Glad you brought this up. If you're in the media where it's like, oh my gosh, prices are up, rates are up, the sky is falling, nobody can afford, mortgage rates are up 28%. That was a headline on something I saw last Friday. So from 21 to 22, I don't know when these comparisons were made, the prices went from 305 to 350. This was some sort of national average. If you took 20% down payment on these prices and, 244 and 280 loan amounts, 3375 in 21, 4.25 in 22. Based on that rate, I'm thinking this was like a February type survey, late February. The difference between the principal and interest payment, 244 loan, 3.375, 280 loan, 4.25, was 1079 to 1377. Now that sounds like huge, right? 28% increase. Here's what folks don't factor in is if you take the principal and interest payment as a function of the income, it was 20%. So the average income was $53.95 for that 1079 payment. So the principal and interest is 20% of it. We saw 6% wage inflation. In the private sector, we saw 9% wage inflation. Wages are up. Whether you want to agree with me or not, numbers don't lie. So if you take that 6% wage inflation into account and you make the income $57.19 versus that new P&I payment, the P&I is 23% of the income. That's a 3% increase. And that's the 6%. That's not private sector. Private sector, 9% increase in wages, even less of an increase. So are homes more expensive? Yes. Are rates up? Yes. Are they exorbitantly less affordable? Not really. Principal and interest payment went from 20% to 23% of that person's income, and probably 20 to 21% if they're in the private sector because of their wage increase. I mean, I understand the frustration and I truly get it. Homes are more expensive. It's harder to buy a house. And I have empathy for those folks. But one, I'm saying it's not impossible. And two, I'm saying it's not as bad as some media outlets will we'll make it. All right. Very important question. Are you gay? The answer is no. I've been married to a woman. 2008. We just celebrated 14 years, or 14 years coming up. We've been together since 05, 17 years. I'm in California, so plenty of gay friends, plenty of gay coworkers. Not personally gay, but thanks for asking. Thanks for joining us, Anna. What about jumbos? Jumbos are seeing the same sort of rate trajectory. And you know what, Alex? This is interesting because in California, I'm doing plenty of jumbo loan stuff. And I think that jumbo loans are like a different market, right? It's like you've got conventional loans, you've got government, FHA and VA and USDA, then you've got jumbo loans. A lot of people are brokering these jumbo loans to the same places. Even some of my buddies who are in retail are brokering to like Chase and big banks. Not only have rates gone up, but these specific investors have done 2 or 3 of their own little internal rate increases to jumbo specifically. So I was talking to somebody where I was like, man, do we have sharp pricing at Kind, or we have sharp pricing at Flagstar? We have sharp pricing here. Like, I'm trying to find the sharpest jumbo pricing, because as a broker, I have the luxury of being able to shop different lenders. They're expensive everywhere. Probably pretty close, where it used to be like conventionals here and jumbo's a little bit better in price. They're probably both in the mid 4s right now. And it depends too on credit score, down payment. There's a ton of like 5 and 10% down jumbo products available, and people assume that's going to be the same rate. That ain't the same rate. You're not paying mortgage insurance. You're putting a lower down payment, so it's more risk to the lender. You're going to pay a higher rate. So anyhow, jumbo loans are going to be in that same territory, which I'm thinking Sacramento, Placer, El Dorado, all the counties that you're probably buying in, you're going to be, you might be in that jumbo territory. We're going to see. We're going to get you squared away, brother. We're going to get you some good estimates. We'll get you out there and shopping and in something soon. Hey, Jeb, my man. If anybody hasn't checked out my buddy Jeb Smith, real estate agent down in Southern California, great agent, great dude, and great channel. Puts out a lot of good real estate content on YouTube. Love your stuff, Jeb. I commented on one of your videos earlier because I was glad to see another professional willing to admit when they're wrong. You were wrong about interest rates. I was wrong about interest rates. I would love to hear or see somebody, last August talk about interest rates going up to 4.5 in a matter of 7 months. Nobody predicted that. Nobody. If they said they did, I want proof, right? Pics or it didn't happen, video or it didn't happen. So I was wrong. You were wrong. We all thought rates were going up, but none of us thought it would be this much, this fast. So your question, will we see 5%? I think that we will. And I literally was just talking to a client that was got in contract. I probably shouldn't name the retail lender, so I won't. Showed me their estimate, 4,875. That was last Friday. And we were like 4,375 or 4,5, significantly better than this retail lender. But if that retail lender was 4,875 on Friday, they're over 5 today, 5 or 5 1/8, because we got about a quarter worse today. So I definitely think we see 5. I think that some people already are, because as you know, Jeb is a former mortgage guy. People that have a 685 credit score that are putting 10% down, they're not going to get the same rate somebody with a 770 credit score with 30% down are going to get. So if the sharpest of the scenarios are mid 4s, credit that's not perfect, lower down payments, you're already pretty darn close to that 5 o'clock number, or that 5 o'clock. Ooh, so long day. Yeah, 5% coming soon, probably by the end of Q2, just because we're so close. Man, this is the $1 million question, Matt, right here. What's the breaking point interest rate for home purchases? I've been having so many conversations, just a sneak peek into what a mortgage professional might be doing week in and week out. 1, I'm on YouTube Live. 2, I'm recording content for YouTube. 3, I'm recording internal content for other loan officers at the company. And I'm talking to real estate agents. I'm talking to real estate agents probably as much as I'm doing anything else. First and foremost, for them to send us business, because we have a pretty dialed in process for getting people pre-approved, helping get their offer accepted, then get them to the finish line in a timely fashion. But through these real estate conversations, I'm asking real estate agents, what are you seeing? What are clients telling you? And I had an interesting one last week where he admitted to me, said, Matt, I had about 30 buyers that were in somewhere in the process, pre-approved, thinking about getting pre-approved, had put in offers, were putting in their first offer, had been looking for a year, like all these different folks. And he tried to whittle it down so that he could use his time most effectively. He said, truth be told, 10 or 15 of them just bowed out, either are going to wait or move or rent or some other plan besides buy. And he said another 5 or 10 of them were unrealistic, and they were looking at areas like just hoping for a home to fit their budget where it just wasn't realistic. And so he said, those folks, like I had to have a come to Jesus moment with, where you might have 30 buyers that turned into 10 that are really serious and putting in offers and continuing with the home buying process. So if multiple agents are telling me that tells me that demand is going to start waning, right? And I truly think, like I told somebody on an interview I did earlier today, 3 to 4%, I just feel like it didn't affect demand at all. Demand was just like, it was a runaway train that couldn't be stopped or slowed down. 4 to 4.5, what we've seen over the last few weeks, has really started to get people to say, you know what, I don't know. Or, some of them change price point, change neighborhood, whatever it is. Like, it's having a real effect on demand now, I think. And I think it's going to. And where I think the inflection happens, Matt, is when new spring inventory comes on and you've got, let's just call it, let's just for sake of like an easy example that my little brain can understand, let's say we've got a neighborhood. And right now that neighborhood has 20 homes for sale. And there's 100 eager, willing buyers. They all go look at one house. And of those 100, 14 people like that house. They all offer on it. Only one person gets it. Another house. Ooh, it's a really nice one. 18 people on offer on that one. Only one get it. Same pool of 100, right? If that pool of 100, like the example I share with the realtor, gets cut in half or to 1/3, like that realtor example, then there's only 30 to 50 of those 100 left. And then at the same time, 20 houses goes to 30 or goes to 40. Now, all of a sudden, instead of a 5-to-1 ratio, you've got like a 1-to-1. It doesn't crash housing, and I wouldn't say that. But imagine an environment where you saw a house, you were interested in it. You could run the numbers with your loan officer, get really clear, talk to your agent. Okay, they talked to the list side. Any offers yet? No, not yet. We're expecting one. Cool. A few days go by. You submit. They've got one other offer. Your offer is at list price, and it gets accepted. To people who are in this market right now, that sounds like a freaking fantasy. I don't think we're that far off from that. I think we'll see that this summer. 2 offers, 3 offers on a house. Maybe some will be super nice, move-in ready, perfect neighborhood, perfect size, perfect layout. They might still get 10. But I think the shit pile's getting 10 offers, hopefully no longer happening, right? So I think that that's the thing, Matt, is it's not just the interest rate. It's the inflection point where interest rate and increased supply, like demand here, supply here, as they both come towards the center, we'll see some summer magic. That's the hope, right? All right. Today's rate 4.75, May 5.125. Whoever this is, thank you. Your prediction has been logged. It's live. It's here. If you're right, I might send you a Matt the Mortgage Guy shirt. Talk to me in May. Kevin Hawthorne, thanks for joining. Appreciate you. Oh, look at that. See, we got people checking out Jeb Smith as well. So yeah, it's good. Watch his stuff, Alex, and he'll keep you up to date on some stuff that's happened in the real estate market, along with some other great real estate YouTubers. All right. I'm not afraid of the 4.66, just afraid of the amount of house I can get. New primary, keep my current as a rental. Yeah. And I think the key to it, Alex, is you'll find out real quick working with us. We're just going to give you as much ammunition as you ask for. Ammunition's the wrong word. Education's probably the better word. Exactly what it's going to look like, right? So at 800 with 20% down, what that looks like. At 850 to 20% down, what that looks like. You'll be able to look at it, and I try, as hard as it is sometimes, when housing and purchasing a house can be emotional, to take that out of it, right? To where you'll be able to look at it and go, you know what? Like, this is what my budget is. This is what I'm comfortable with on a monthly basis. I'm going to go see. Is there something in El Dorado Hills that is available at this price that I like enough to move out of this place and pay $1,200 more per month, right? Those are the kind of conversations that folks are having and should be having. Truth be told, I'm having that internal conversation. I'm in a good neighborhood that I've lived in for a long time. I can certainly afford bigger, better house. Wife and I go back and forth. We moved to a different school district because we got a kiddo that's going to high school in 2 years. It's just looking at the numbers and kind of figuring out, like, is it that important? You know, it would be nice, but is it $2,000 more per month? Nicer, right? Or are we cool here? So happy to have those conversations with you, Alex. It'll be some of that, right? Where somebody who's owns a current primary and is just looking to upgrade, you've got the luxury of, like, you don't necessarily have any desperation or, urgency, which I think for the most part can be scary in real estate. I've dealt with plenty of clients who've got a 60-day notice from their landlord. That sucks, right? Urgent need to buy a home, and you don't have the luxury of saying, if I don't like this or the numbers don't pencil, I'm just going to hold off. So Joey Garesi. Yeah, I actually saw this question somewhere else about ARMs. There's still not really any good adjustable rate mortgage products that are good enough to outweigh the risk, right? Some lenders are offering them. I look at them. I look at like the 5, 7, and 10-year ARMs, which is the most common products for lenders out there. For whatever reason, in the jumbo world, these are more prevalent. In the jumbo world, as you can imagine, a quarter in rate might be $200 a month on a $1 million loan. But, somebody buying a starter house, for a number of reasons, I probably wouldn't recommend even looking at an ARM, right? If you're not super financially savvy and have a game plan, anything adjustable rate carries more risk, and I probably wouldn't advise it. But yeah, maybe we get to the place, Joey, where 30-year fixed is 6%. You can get an ARM for 4.75 or something. It might make sense. Danny G. Thanks for this. Expecting to close on a new build late May. So April, May. Late May is freaking 60 days away. What do you mean too early to lock now? It's not too early to lock. I mean, I've got 60 and 90-day locks on loans right now. So I would definitely challenge that and say, what does the 60-day lock look like and 75-day lock look like? Because there's no reason why you couldn't lock. And it's really scary to tell somebody, don't worry, you'll be able to refinance soon and come out better. Like, nobody knows that. Some promising stuff for folks is smart folks, including my buddy Barry Habib, have talked about what might happen where rates go up and the things that the Fed is doing to monetary policy, slowing down inflation, could cause a recession. If we go into recession, there's likely going to be levers pulled that turn interest rates back around, interest rates come down. So while there is a possibility, Danny, that in 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, rates come down, I wouldn't bank on it, right? I would get into a 30-year fixed rate mortgage that you're comfortable with and just set it and forget it. That would be my best advice to you. It's my story and I'm sticking to it. All right. We'll document this one too. The crash is coming in about 6 months. What do you mean by crash? 30%? 30% home price depreciation? Am I laggy at all? I feel like sometimes my screen is freezing. I don't know if the interwebs around here are sharp or good. Yeah, we'll take a look at those, Alex, because I'm all for keeping it conservative. You know, if there's some stuff that you can find and keep it conventional, then maybe got to go up to the jumbo realm, which is not that bad. Sometimes it's a little bit harder to get them closed in 18 days, like you can do with conventional stuff, and they might ask for a few extra documents, but besides that, you should be all right. And the fact that like the high balance stuff has gone up so much in rate, like probably going to be the same type of terms for high balance and jumbo. What's up, VQuez? Thanks for joining. I haven't seen that name in a while. Hope you've been well. Appreciate seeing folks back. Means that somebody thinks that these conversations are valuable. So I appreciate you coming back. Bring a friend. Thanks, Jeb, for stopping by. I appreciate you, brother. Let me know. I know you're live. Jeb's live on Wednesday nights. Now that Little League has started, it's going to be tough because I looked at the schedule. I got a lot of Wednesday games, but if you ever need a sub, let me know. If you guys think I should get Jeb on here on a Monday night and wrap real estate soon, let me know. I think one of these weeks I'm going to have Ryan Lundquist back, talk appraisals, talk what he's seen in the market. But we should have Jeb on here too. We should talk real estate and give some real estate predictions. I'd love to hear the stories about all the stuff that's going on in SoCal with him, because in different ways, but equally as crazy of a real estate market, I think, as what we're seeing up here in NorCal. Theo B. I mean, investment loans are getting more expensive. I wouldn't call it ridiculous, though. I think that investment stuff is, we just priced one out. You can still get a 5%, a 5 1/8 on an investment property. What the bigger problem is, I think, Theo, is that the deals are fewer and far between. You got to get creative. You got to really pound the pavement. I'm still looking at deals every day. And most of the time it's, somebody got it as a wholesaler or it hasn't hit the market yet. And I've got an agent that's like, yeah, maybe this person willing to do something off market before we hit the market. Because once it hits the market, really, like, there's still enough dumb money out there where it's going to get bid up to a price that doesn't make it make sense as a rental. Like, trust me, I've ran numbers on stuff and I'm like, okay, so let me get this straight. Even if we increase rents to this and this, and even though I'm going to get the most smoking mortgage there is because I'm a broker and there's no comp when I'm doing my own deal. All that being said, I'm going to outlay this much and see a 3% return. Like, that don't make sense. Any additional capital expenditures or other stuff goes wrong, like this thing's a loser. 6-figure outlay and down payment and closing costs, and I'm gonna lose money every year. It sounds like a real winner, but that's the truth of the matter, Theo. So I think it's just getting really clear on what makes a deal to you and just working hard to find it, right? I don't think it's the rates necessarily that are the problem, because there's still people finding deals, closing on deals. They're just fewer and farther between. And some stuff that probably wasn't a deal turned into a deal when you could finance it at 3% or 3.25%. I looked at something that I bought last year. We bought this thing, investment, sub 3% interest rate. Is that crazy? I was like, what? 2.874 on an investment property? So yeah, now that we're pricing a duplex and we're pricing it at 499, I don't look as sweet. But anyhow, is what it is, Theo. Don't give up, man. Keep looking. Real estate's gonna be a long-term winner, so don't give up on it. All right. The speed at which things are increasing will be the real effect. Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be sticker shock. People are going to be like, what in the world? I already know it. I already know that we've got 100 plus buyers that are pre-approved. 30 or 40 of them probably haven't requested an estimate or seen an estimate from us in 4 weeks, 6 weeks, some of them probably 8 weeks. When they look at that, Matt, what happened? You raised your rates so much. No, not me. I don't have the control. Jerome Powell's got the pow gun. But anyway, all jokes aside, you're right. The speed at which things are going up is the real problem. Pallavi Patel, good evening from Illinois. What are you in Illinois? You 2 hours ahead? Is it like 6 o'clock there? All right, stand by. The market hasn't been favorable for me. Oh, I was looking for something. Never mind. I was trying to find something. I missed it. Yeah, Alex, you can actually go up to 647 conventional and then go high balance to like 695. So you're going to be well within conventional until you get into like 875, 900 with 20% down, then you're going to be looking at jumbo stuff. So we'll see. Ideally under 647,200. 647,200, is that the number? Man, I haven't looked at that little brain. I'm running out of brain, running out of hard drive space. Oh, here's a good question, Joey. You guys got questions I hadn't even thought about. Do PMI rates go up when mortgage rates go up? It doesn't, no. The only thing is that, like, as prices go up, PMI being a function of the loan amount will go up. But like the factor, right? If you've got like a 0.2% PMI factor on a $400,000 loan, meaning that's like $800 a year, that $65 or $67, whatever that is per month, is going to be higher when it turns into a $500,000 loan, right? Same 0.2 factor, but now it's $1,000 for the year. So it's $84-ish per month, or whatever that math ends up being. So, PMI factors remain the same. And I've heard that FHA may very well be lowering their mortgage insurance factor from 0.85. It's been there for a long, long time, and there's been rumors forever. FHA could and would make a comeback in a more flat, stable market. Pallavi Patel, never a silly question, mainly because it sounds silly to you, but it's a great question. It's something that a lot of people are going to be asking. I get this question a lot. Does locking require to have a property on hand or a property in contract? Usually is the answer. And I would say yes for most people. While there is products out there where you can lock and shop, you guys know me, I'm going to tell you the truth. Those products are not something that are necessarily going to be very helpful to you as a consumer. If I told you that I can get you a rate today at 4.5% on a 30-day lock, and you said, well, Matt, I'm really afraid rates are going to go up, I really want to lock. Okay, I'll get you a 120-day lock on a lock and shop. You don't have to have a property in. It's going to be a $2,000 cost for a 5% rate. I don't think that's a very wise decision, right? Because you're going to be like, let's say you find something in 25 days and the rates are 4.5%, right? Like you've locked a 5% with a $2,000 cost. You haven't done yourself any favors. So for the most part, the way it's going to work, you're going to get pre-approved. You're going to know rates are in this range. Go out and submit offers. Once you get an accepted offer, got a fully executed purchase contract, we're going to lock the loan. We're going to send out initial loan disclosures, and we're going to get you rolling. So that's how it's going to work in general. All right, we're going to wrap up. We got about 5 or so minutes, keeping these things to an hour. April Thompson, this is a great question. You know what I'm going to do? I have not priced a second home in a while, but I'll tell you a couple reasons why a second home rate is higher. Well, it's more risk to the lender. You're more likely to default on a second home than you are on your primary residence. But here's a fun fact that not everybody is going to know. Last year and every year before that, you could get a second home. You could put 10% down. You live in Sacramento, you buy something in Tahoe, you buy something in Santa Cruz. The rate was really close to the rate for a primary residence. Really close. Then fast forward, everybody and their mom and their mama's mom was buying second homes, using it to Airbnb, whatever it was. It was like a COVID thing. Second homes were hot. We were writing more of those than you've ever seen. And they were popular. lenders as of April 1st. And don't worry, that's not April 1st yet, 2022. The pricing has already been priced in long ago. Certain lenders that were like the last of the last to increase pricing still had it for like any locks after mid-March. So that ship has sailed. They put in loan level price adjustments that made second homes about as expensive or about the same rates as investment property loans. Sorry for a little pause. I'm in my pricer. I'm trying to look at like I'm gonna price up. Let's do like 4 lenders. We'll do a purchase at 600,000 with 20% down, and we will call it a second home. This is definitely above 5%. Single family, detached, second home. I haven't priced one of these in a few days, so I'm interested as well. My guess is we're probably on a 30-year fixed. Woo! Yeah, even paying points, you're like 5.25 to 5.5. Holy guacamole. Second homes are expensive. You ain't lying. But yeah, lenders did that like literally just this year. Increase the pricing of investment property loans. All right. Thanks for joining, Pallavi. Happy to answer your questions. One favor I ask is, as you can imagine, with 1,000 people emailing questions, emailing one question, getting a response, emailing another one, getting a response. That would be my full-time job. I would not do anything else. So if you've got questions, 2 ways to make it efficient for you and for me, and so that like by the 6th question, I'm not taking a week to respond. Put them all into one email. So it's 5 or 6 questions all at once, or join live and you can hear, all the emotion, all the tone, all the realness of me answering your question here live. For me, it's obviously easier depending on workload and all the other stuff I got going on. By the time it gets to me from my office manager, it might be a day or a day and a half delay, for some of these questions, but I'm more than happy to answer them. Best advice to folks who are anywhere near purchasing: get yourself pre-approved, allow us, or if it's a different lender, so be it. That's your fault, not mine. Get yourself all the questions answered, all the scenarios worked up so that you feel confident, so you're empowered to go out there and submit offers. Whether the rates are 3% or 6%, that matters less than knowing exactly what fits into your budget, what your goals are, what you're looking to do. Whether it's as an investor, there's still people buying stuff every single day, I can promise you. And real estate investors are like other investors that are investing for the long term. It's time in the market, not timing the market. So they're buying this month and next month and the month after and last year and this year and next year. Sure, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time is today. So with that, thanks for joining. I appreciate each and every one of you. Every Monday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'll be here. Hope you'll be back. Let's talk real estate. Let's talk mortgage. Let's go out there and win. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.